Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Shoebox here at Penwood High School as we're bringing you coverage of a high school volleyball match between the Penwood Patriots and Chichester Cyber Academy. Chris Markowitz here on the call. Moments away from the first set. Happy to have you here with us on a rainy Wednesday afternoon. And this match scheduled to start at 3:45, so should be underway in a few minutes here. Both teams just talking over their final strategy near their respective sidelines. Nice little crowd here at the Shoebox as well. You can see them there on the screen in the back part of the bleachers. And here come the Patriots. Both teams dressed in burgundy today, or maroon, I should say. And we are just about ready to get underway here. Penwood will serve first. And the first point of set number one given to Chichester. For Chichester, Kayla Hess will serve. And that's a 2-0 advantage early on for Chichester Cyber Academy. Make it 3-zip. Kayla Hess with a couple strong serves here in the early going. Hess on a roll here to start is Kayla Hess. Penwood having some difficulty. And that looked like an ace serve. Nobody made contact. Player in the area for Penwood unable to make the bump. And another ace for Hess. Chichester out to a 6-0 advantage early on. Hess with 5 consecutive points off of serves. None have been returned yet. And she is dealing right now. And a timeout taken by Penwood, trailing 7-0 in the first set. We're going to take an audio break. You're watching Penwood Volleyball. Welcome back into the shoebox as Chichester leads Penwood 7-0 in the first set. Kayla Hess with points on 6 consecutive serves. And some confusion here with the officials. The point is awarded to Chichester. So Penwood still unable to return a Hess serve. And that trend continues. Kayla Hess dominant in the early going. And the Patriots had an opportunity there, but unable to return. Hess tried a float serve, but left it short. And that will be the first point of the set for Penwood as the Patriots trail 10-1. Tallulah Bacon to serve, and she is able to fire an ace for the first serve for the Patriots. Awa Bacon. And a whistle by the officials. That's going to be a service fault. As Awa Bacon is subbed out of the rotation for Penwood, replaced by Leslie and Yika. 11-2 advantage for Chichester. Patriots able to return the serve, and that's out of play. Last touch by Chichester. So Penwood will have it on the serve now, trailing 11-3. Ernestine Giahue leaves it short of the net. And now a sub into the match for Chichester. Kaylee Ferguson, comes in and replaces Zanira Gordy. Ferguson serves. And it's a 10-point lead yet again for Chichester. Ferguson. Two consecutive points now for Chichester with Ferguson serving. And the Chichester lead growing here in the first set as they lead Penwood 15-3. Ace and Ferguson with good placement there. As Chichester less than 10 points away from taking the first set. Nice dig there. That was Sacco, but Penwood unable to return the favor. Ferguson. And a good return by Chichester as they score yet again. That was Hess who was able to get it over the net. Penwood unable to answer as it's an 18-3 lead for Chichester, make it 19-3. Ferguson, who came on prior to serving in a substitution for Gordy. She has Chichester ahead 20-3 as Penwood takes another timeout, down 17 in the opening set. We'll take a break. You're watching Penwood Volleyball on the Sports Fanbase Network. Welcome back to the Shoebox. Penwood trails Chichester 20-3 in the first set of action. Penwood having difficulty returning serves here. And the Patriots talking it over. They'll head back out onto the floor. Kaylee Ferguson to serve. And another point for Chichester as their lead increases to 21-3 here in set number one. Ferguson. Nice play to keep the ball in. That was a good play by Sacco, who's made a couple good sets for the Patriots. Fonta Sacco, the sophomore wearing number 1 for Penwood, he's made a couple plays but hasn't gotten much help early in this match as Penwood trails Chichester 22-3 in set number 1. Opportunity for a spike there, but Trinity Crosson left it short. Ferguson. And that's an ace. Chichester a point away from taking set number 1. Set point for Ferguson. Patriots able to return it. And we'll have a volley for it. Ball goes out of play, and Penwood's still alive in the first set as that spike off target. So Penwood will serve as the Patriots trail 24-4. That's Sacco's serve. Ferguson, short. Back-to-back points for Penwood for the first time in the match. And Fonta Sacco having a solid afternoon, but leaves this serve short, and that will do it for us in the first set as Chichester takes it over Penwood 25-5. We'll take a break. You're watching Penwood Softball on the Sports Fanbase Network. Welcome back into the shoebox. Second set of action between Penwood and Chichester, as Chichester took set number one 25-5. And Chichester will serve here. It looks for now like it will be Boots Olsen to serve. The officials just checking, making sure that everything is in order with the rotations. And Ferguson into the match here for Chichester as Gordy goes to the sideline. Serve from Boots is returned, and then a spike falls. Quality spike there from Janae Barraza as Chichester takes the opening point of set number two. Boots give Chichester another. Penwood able to make a return here. Spike opportunity, and that is out of play. Barraza too strong, and Penwood will have it as the Patriots trail 2-1 here in the first set. Sub onto the floor for Chichester. So Olsen goes to the bench, replaced by Madison Jones. First serve of the day for Charlie Tong, and it's a good one as she gets the ace. Penwood even with Chichester, 2-2 here in set number two. Looked like an opportunity for a spike there, but instead the ball falls and is caught near the net by Ernestine Gayu, unable to send it back over, so the point awarded to Chichester. Barraza. And that serve hits the net by Barraza. Owa Bacon to serve now for Penwood. And her serve short, so a point to Chichester. As a sub enters now for both teams. Sakura Ward onto the floor for Penwood, and Zanira Gordy into the match for Chichester. Julia Walsh serving now for Chichester. Walsh. And a nice block there, right near the net by Gordy. Walsh with the ace. Chichester going on a run here, much like they did in the first set as they lead Penwood 8-3. Walsh. Give Chichester another point as Ward can't get the ball over the net. And Chichester had 10-3 here in set number 2. Walsh off target on that serve, so her run comes to an end. Chichester had 10-4 as Penwood takes over. It'll be Jiahu to serve now for the Patriots. And a point to Chichester. Boots Olsen back onto the floor for Chichester, replaces Madison Jones at the outside hitter spot as this serve hits the net and is a point for Penwood. Patriots trail Chichester 11-5. And serve will go back to Chichester. Cuffy Thomas off the face of the net, and just exchanging serves here the last couple of points between these two teams. Penwood with the substitution. Owa Bacon onto the floor. This serve short by Henry. Ferguson with her serve return. Good defense there by the Patriots, but there's Barraza who kills it. She's got a couple points here today off kills right near the net. Ferguson. And another point for Chichester. Timeout taken by Penwood as they trail Chichester 15-6. We'll take another break. You're watching Penwood Volleyball here on the Sports Fanbase Network. Welcome back into the shoebox as it's a volleyball doubleheader. These are the JV teams of Chichester and Penwood. After this, we'll have the varsity match for you. Right now, Chichester leads the second set 15-6 over Penwood. Chichester took the first set 25-5. Some good back and forth action here. Not the longest volley so far between two teams as Chichester comes away with the point. Ferguson with a float serve. And the Patriots unable to get it over in 3 touches. Ferguson. And the lead mounting for Chichester here. Kaylee Ferguson, who has been a standout server today for Chichester. The spike tried by Jones. And the return there by Hess. Nice action here. Back and forth we go. Jones tries the spike. Chichester with the answer. The dig not made by Guyhue. It was a nice effort, but Barraza ultimately put it in a difficult spot to return. Janae Barraza responsible for a decent amount of points here today for Chichester as they lead Penwood 20-6 in set number 2. Ferguson. And another point for Chichester. And Yika unable to return there. And a block at the top of the net by Barraza. Not the tallest player, but she got up there to score another point for Chichester. And Chichester had 23-6 now. Ferguson towards the back line, and that's out of play. So Penwood wins a point as the Patriots trail 23-7. Jada Roberts. Oh, a nice play. But the ball, unfortunately for Penwood, goes out. Point awarded to Chichester, who will serve here. Jones with the ace, and that does it for us in set number 2. So the junior varsity squad for Chichester takes that match over Penwood in 2 sets for the first of our doubleheader here today. We'll take a break. Varsity action coming up. You're watching Penwood Volleyball on the Sports Fanbase Network. Welcome back into the shoebox here at Penwood High School. And it is senior day for the varsity volleyball squad here at Penwood. Rap Curry at midcourt right now as 3 seniors are being acknowledged. And Penwood and Rap Curry getting a round of applause from the crowd here from both sides as well for the visitors. Chichester, a nice little acknowledgement there, good sportsmanship. And for Penwood, we'll call out the 3 names as we go along here.
Let's give a hand for our 3 seniors.
The 3 seniors being recognized today: Sanaya Jones, Nicole Matta, and Ernestine Gayu.
This person, I began playing volleyball in 7th grade and played all 4 years of high school. After high school, I planned to major in neuroscience at either Johns Hopkins University or Wesleyan University. I'm also a part of the Science Olympiad team, mock trial, theater club, science, and math honor society, and I am a goalie for the lacrosse team. My favorite volleyball memory is from 10th grade when we won an away game at Chichester and had a dance session outside while waiting for the bus to pick us up. Please welcome Ernestine.
And the first senior being honored is Ernestine. She walks out to a nice round of applause here from both teams.
Ernestine.
All right, our next senior been playing volleyball since 8th grade and instantly fell in love. Also involved in theater, club, band, choir, and lacrosse. After I graduate, I plan on going to college for either athletic training, criminology, or biology. My favorite volleyball memory is every game being able to play with a great group of ladies. We welcome Sanaya Jones.
There's Sanaya Jones, the second senior being honored.
And last but not least, I've been playing volleyball since the 8th grade, and this will be my last year playing volleyball. Well, yeah, you're senior. I am planning to major in health professions and Temple to become a physical therapist. I also play softball. I'm in student council, and I did science Olympiad. My favorite memory was when we played at Chester and we had a little dance party outside while waiting for the bus. Welcome, Nicole.
And the third and final senior being honored is Nicole Matta.
And congratulations to her as well.
So pictures being taken now here on senior day at Penwood High School. Right before Penwood's match with Chichester. Everyone getting into it now. Nice little moment here at the shoebox. As both teams getting ready to face off here in this varsity match. And we're going to take another break as Chichester and Penwood warming up for the varsity match here on senior night. You're watching Penwood Volleyball on the Sports Fanbase Network. Welcome back into the shoebox here at Penn High School. The second match now of a doubleheader. We saw the JV earlier today. This will be the varsity on senior night. And I'm joined now by Rap Curry, the athletic director here at Penn. He'll also be my color commentator and my partner for this match. Rap, happy to have you with me.
Thank you. It's good to be here and just glad to be representing another Penwood broadcast. This is our first volleyball stream, and obviously we're working the alternate season, so it's the first time we ever actually did fall sports that were inside at all. We got practice with that with basketball season, so due to the schedule and being right after school, it was kind of tough to get people to work every day after school, but we were able to work it out here for senior day.
Well, it's been a crazy time in athletics all around. I know not just volleyball going on today, but soccer and football tomorrow. Got games going on throughout the spring season, so a lot to keep an eye on for Patriot fans.
Yeah, keep an eye out. We have a girls' soccer game tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I believe that's what it is, 10 or 11. I think it's 10. And then we have football game at 3 o'clock. So we got a long doubleheader tomorrow, and we win the winner of the game tomorrow with Chester. We'll move on to the United 10 championship.
There you go.
Round, so
a lot on the line there. Well, we're just about ready for the varsity match for volleyball here, as Chichester will serve first. It's going to be Avery McLaughlin. And an ace on the opening serve for Chichester.
we have a few adjustments to the roster. So we got a few new starters, a couple JV players that came up. Some people were not available for today's game, and so we know it will be a challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be the case for, as you mentioned, changes. A couple players playing up right now, including Corey Henry, Kathy Kita, Jedeline Tienpe on that list. So Penwood with some non-traditional players here today, as the Patriots return the ball for the first time in the match. Penwood looking for its first point. As this spike too strong. Sacco got underneath that one.
Yeah, it was the first time they were able to get the serve back over, and that's one of the hardest parts of volleyball here at the high school level is, can you get the serve back over, then can you set something up on a return. So
Chichester with a 3-0 advantage. Nice dig there by Tong.
Charlie Tong's a 9th grader, very confident in her abilities.
This is a nice little volley here between both teams. Tong with this bump. Here's the set, and the spike is
that's a good set.
Returned. This is nice back and forth action here, but Chichester wins the point. That was, I would say, though, the best volley we've seen so far between what we saw with the JV earlier today, and then some nice back and forth action there, Rap.
And we probably didn't set the girls up with the easiest one of our opponents here in Chichester. But this is an opportunity to play them, and we haven't beaten them in a long time. So it's a big challenge here for us.
Chichester, a really talented volleyball program, as a double touch there at the front by Avery McLaughlin.
She got a quick return over there, kind of caught the girl off, not expecting that, so gave us our first point.
Penwood on the serve now. McLaughlin over the net.
Nice setup.
Tong.
Into the net.
Charlie Tong left it short. Didn't get enough extension there. Point here for Chichester, as Chichester leads Penwood 6-1. Chris Markowitz here alongside Rap Curry. This the opening set of senior day for Penwood.
I'm over here playing with my levels. I'm not sure if I'm coming in good. Can you hear me over there? All right.
Marissa Taylor serving for Chichester. As Chichester with a 7-1 advantage. And Taylor able to get the ball over the net on a let. Sacco couldn't make the dig.
Right there.
That's a tough serve to return.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a deflection, it's like any other sport. You get a little tip on it, it sends the ball in a different direction. So.
And another point for Chichester is Tong a little bit too strong on the set there.
So the last couple games have been really close. We lost to Reading on Monday, which went 5 sets, and then had a win at Cheltenham, and then a 4-set loss at Norristown. So for those that know, it's our volleyball program has been one that's been building, and that's why I'm kind of happy for the seniors that they were able to get out here and play, because it's just taking time for us to kind of really build up our skill level to a point to be competitive. And
right.
So, you know, we're still working that level, but we get great turnout, and they had done a pretty good job so far this season. So that was our only one win this year, but we've had close games in the other contexts, except for the Dove Valves. Probably still a little bit of a gap, but we're coming along.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Penwood Volleyball on the Sports Fan Base Network. Welcome back into the shoebox. Chris Markowitz here alongside Rap Curry. Chichester ahead of Penwood 11-1 in the opening set. Nice return there by Jones. And Penwood with the point.
We'll take the point, 11-2, good timeout, and I think we got a little help. Yeah, that sounds pretty good there. I can hear me.
So Penwood on the serve here is Rap and I know you guys at home can hear each other pretty well. We're, for some reason, having a hard time hearing one another in our headsets, so bear with us. As a strong spike by Morgan Wood gives Chichester another point, and they will take over with the serve.
You know,
one ear out that could possibly
those are always tough ones right there, because it was such a hard hit and it was to the back of the line. You almost really want to let it go. You hate to give away points and knock back ones that are going out, but that was just a strong spike.
And Chichester with another point now off a good serve from Ariana Hess. Good return here by Penwood. As a spike opportunity set up, but it was a fake. It looked like Bazemore was going to slam it home, but she left it for Perrone, who just sent it over with a nice little bump to give Chichester another point.
Yeah, it looked like she was going to set somebody up for a spike, and then she just kind of bumped it over herself.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you see Deja Bazemore winding up to send one into the ground, you kind of clear out of the way there. So a nice play drawn up by Chichester as they now lead 15-2. Ace on the serve for Hess.
Just a little confusion back there. You know, we're missing probably about 3 girls that normally probably would start for the team. So you can see the rotation is just not as solid as it would normally be.
This return goes out of play on the sideline. And another ace for Hess as Chichester takes an 18-2 advantage.
See if they can kind of get it together after, obviously this one's 18-2. So it's going to be tough to come back and bring this one back. But if they can get in between and try to settle themselves on the serves.
Well, that'll help as Hess hits the net on the serve and is subbed out.
Yes.
Replaced in the action by the libero, Kylie Rupertus. Tong with a nice little bump, and the ball hits the ceiling here at the shoebox, so that will be, unfortunately, a violation on Penwood.
And that is definitely a shoebox violation. So basically the way they play it is if the ball stays on your side, you can play it off the roof. If it goes over off the roof, then it's a point for the other team. So.
Well, that comes into a play here, right on cue for you, Rap, as you're talking about it.
Yeah.
But tough to play it off the rafters. Feel like almost like we're in the Metrodome or in the Tropicana Field, like in a Major League Baseball game, playing baseballs off the roof there.
Yeah, definitely. And that team we don't like in Philadelphia, the Cowboys, they play it off the clock.
Yeah, on a punt, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when I was a kid growing up, they just built that when I was probably in 7th grade. And we used to call it the Jerry Jones rule. If in street football, if you had a pass hit the cables,
yes.
the phone lines, we called that a Jerry Jones. So we had to redo it.
That's nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, you got to get creative with it.
You do. The fact that you were in 7th grade when he built that stadium makes me feel really old. I would talk about some of the older games, but I won't.
That one's not too old now. That stadium's about 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. That you were in 7th grade. So, obviously, we're at 3-24, so 25 for those who don't follow volleyball as much, because we know you're out there watching us on YouTube and Facebook. And there's 25.
That's a strong way to win the first set on an ace off the net by Caitlin Woodall. So Chichester, to your point, Rap, they take set number 1. It's best out of 5. Each of the first 4 sets will be to 25, the final 2-15. Chichester with the early advantage. We'll take another break. You're watching Penwood Volleyball here on the Sports Fanbase Network.
Go Wood.
nice little loud siren in our ears here at
We're
the
working it
shoebox.
out here today. We're working it out here today. I hope we didn't scare anybody at home with the horn.
Chris Markowitz alongside Rav Curry here for set number 2 as Chichester took the first. Penwood with the opening point as Morgan Wood unable to return the serve from Sanaya Jones, one of the 3 seniors recognized before this match.
And Sanaya Jones is a 4-year starter. Been committed to volleyball the whole time. And she was very excited about being here and being on the stream. And her brother was Chris Jones, who produced all the shows for us last year, was part of the original stream team we had here at Penwood.
Sanaya, a talented player for Penwood. And to your point, she's been committed for 4 years now for the Patriots as Chichester wins this point. Serving now for Chichester is Avery McLaughlin, who served in the first match. That return by Tong. It's the bottom of the net.
Part, and I guess for me, I get to see a plethora of games. And in high school, you get a lot of different levels of it. But when I think about like tennis and when I think about volleyball, those that can master the serve just have a way different advantage. And obviously we see it when you get to the pro levels.
Right.
But when you got the people in high school that can really do it, it sets that team apart. It's really kind of like that for all sports. Last year we had a pitcher, Mina Ballinger, who is now at Delaware State. And when she came into the program, it just changed the softball team. So we were able to get better around her and become more competitive, and then a state playoff team. So this is like where you can see one player really make a difference in the program, and that's the great part about high school sports.
Well, when you have that table setter, when you have that ace in the hole, the person who establishes the rhythm of a game, it's an individual can control so much. To your point there, especially in that serving position.
I mean, it goes to in the high school level, we're really, kids are finding themselves, and that's an interesting part of it, right? Because I'm one of the original Penwood students that came out of middle school and right into high school sports, and everybody's just not ready to do that. So kind of the goal is can you build yourself up, playing for Penwood there? Can you build yourself up and then get the team to kind of build around you so that you can be a competitive team out here? And that's the challenge, right? It's having that player kind of develop themselves, but then also be able to bring that same type of confidence amongst the team so that you can be a competitive team out here.
As that hits the net, so point to Chichester. It's an 8-2 advantage for Chichester here in set number 2. And to your point here, Raph, this is a program for Penwood that's trying to build right now and trying to find that consistency among players and establish that culture. That's so important at the high school level, to establish a culture that carries on year to year.
It is, and I mean, and that's also part of the COVID experience too, and even the problems we're having with today's team. But like our best player returning just chose not to play during the COVID environment. She didn't play basketball, and that's Tori. She didn't play basketball or volleyball, and she was clearly our best volleyball player. And so, we had to kind of restructure the team around her and try to be a little more team-oriented because she would bail us out of a lot of points.
As this serve hits the net for Filipski, so Penwood takes over, trailing 10-3 here in the second set. Chichester took the first set. And yeah, it's been a lot of obstacles, obviously, in a COVID-19 year. As a spike opportunity, and Ward with power behind it.
Yeah, that was great.
Morgan Wood playing the outside hitter spot.
So I want to do some homework for us, because if you see the person with the opposite jersey on there, that is the libero. Now, I was told before what the libero was, but I don't know it exactly, so I'm going to find out. But both teams has one, and
right.
I know it has something to do with the serving. But
so the rules with the libero.
Okay. Educate us, please.
Now, this is what I learned yesterday, getting ready for this broadcast. So with the libero, if the libero is a defensive specialist,
Okay.
meaning that it's a player who, first of all, with substitutions, can sub in and out at any point in time. So in a rotation, can constantly sub. And then with that 10-foot line that you see right there, the libero can never come across the 10-foot line to make a play. It's
wow.
because they're restricted as a defensive specialist. So
Wow.
you get to have the substitutions in an unlimited variety with them, but they can never play above the 10-foot line.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility. And definitely a lot of responsibility that we have on a freshman right now.
Yeah, a lot of the game is determined by a libero's ability, to your point, to make defensive plays, make passes. Typically, you see your best all-around players at any level are at either the libero spot or the setter spot in volleyball.
Okay.
At least according to Wikipedia.
I was going to say that was good information right there.
Yeah, so for any of you new to following the sport of volleyball, I am too, so feel free to fact check me on any of this. Meanwhile, Chichester out to a 14-4 start here in set number 2. Spike opportunity and a nice dig there by Giahu, but Penwood unable to return the ball over the net.
One thing is, we started volleyball down at the middle school level, and our numbers really grew. Actually, we had 2 of our female sports that have grown a lot in the last few years, and that's softball and volleyball. And we've been able to get those programs started down at the middle school level, and so our numbers have been really good. In this fall season, I think volleyball is the only team that has had a JV team, and we're trying to decide if we're going to do JV sports for the spring coming up, but if we do, it'll be softball, which is good to get the numbers out for the ladies. We always know that football comes with a lot of people, and in our community, we get tons of kids that come out for basketball, but
right.
They really responded to volleyball and softball. So for all you kids out there, come on out. We got spots. Just got to earn a spot on the team.
A roof there by Deja Bazemore as she pounds the ball into the ground. And it's an 18-4 lead now for Chichester. Bazemore with a couple strong plays at the middle blocker spot as the serve from Woodall hits the net. And Penwood takes over.
Normally I would have, you try to find, you manage your senior days, right? So you find somebody that's probably, like I said, Chichester's a team we haven't beaten in years in volleyball. So I would have probably managed that a little differently, but in the alternate fall, we weren't able to do it. So it just puts a challenge for them to kind of come up here and really try to give their best effort to try to make this competitive at all.
Well, a nice touch there by Wood. It was a setup. It looked like they were going to go with the spike for Bazemore, but instead Wood put the soft touch on it, and the hole opened up for her.
Well, it was a good setup, and I think that's the key to it is being able to control the ball to set yourself up for a good solid hit. And they were able to use finesse instead of strength there.
Yeah, that ball just died as it hit the floor. Now Wood will serve, but she hits the net on her first try of the match. Whistle here, substitution for Penwood. Looks like Nicole Maida will check in.
Indian Butler, she's been playing up a little bit today. Let's see what she can do here.
On her first serve, it touches the bottom of the nylon, so point for Chichester. And another substitution here as the libero for Chichester heads to the bench, replaced by Ariana Hess. Bazemore has her serve hit in play, so she gets credited with the ace. Looked for a moment like the ball was going to go over the back line. That's why Maida let it fall. Bazemore, and that's pretty. She went with a float serve there, just knuckled it up, as they say. Looks like a knuckleball when you hit it in the middle of the
dig 'em
ball
out,
and it
and
floats.
that's the tough part. You know what I mean? You really are trying to really dig that thing out. It's coming in at your shins, and you got to be able to really get down there and dig that ball out and make it playable.
And another point for Chichester. Their serving has been a clear advantage here today.
Yeah, definitely.
Bazemore with the ace, and Chichester a point away from taking a 2-set advantage.
Yeah, losing a little confidence back there. You start not confident back there. It just takes a full commitment to dig that ball out and put it back in play. See if we can make a play here.
Set point for
got a shot.
Bazemore. Penwood able to
over.
return.
All right. Good setup.
And the spike hits the top of the net, but falls for Taylor, and that will do it for us in set number 2. Chichester takes it 25-6. We'll take another break. You're watching Penwood Volleyball on the Sports Fanbase Network. Welcome back into the shoebox. Chris Markowitz alongside Rab Curry as Chichester. And there's that buzzer once again, Rab. Chichester with a 2-0 lead over Penwood. This senior day for the Penwood girls volleyball team. And Rab, in that break, we were talking, reminiscing on some of the history for the sports squads, not just the volleyball team here with their banner back in the Del Valle hanging here from the 1985 year, but really just the history in general of Penwood athletics and how things have gone on over the last couple of years. The 80s and 90s, a strong point in history here at Penwood. And then when you came back as the athletic director, things started taking a turn again for the better.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I definitely didn't have all that much to do with me, maybe a little bit. But, I mean, truthfully, the whole goal of bringing Penwood, and we see that volleyball has 1985 champion. The goal really of Penwood was to take the small single-A schools of Lansdowne, Alden, and Yeadon and Darby Cowan and move them together.
Right.
Darby Cowan and Yeadon and both had some state championships, and Lansdowne was also good. And so moving together kind of put like a superstar program at the big school level. And we actually had, female sports was super huge in the 80s. We had like All-Americans going to big-time schools for like lacrosse and field hockey and stuff like that. I mean, you can see first championship up there for Penwood was 82 is the field hockey team. And so, field hockey, lacrosse, hockey, softball, girls sports was really, now I won't say holding it down, but holding it down really was the first thing to blossom here at Penwood. And so that was kind of, one of the challenges that was before me is that our female sports had low numbers. And, so one of the things that I asked for was to make sure that we had the middle school component to try to help build that up. And, that's what we really try to focus on. And obviously, nothing has traditionally been better here at Penwood than track and field over the years. We've had All-Americans and, tons of Division I, Division II, and Division III athletes come to track and field. But when I first came back, track was really quiet. So very proud of continuing that. And I was in the 90s, but I came to my first Penwood games in 84, and like coming to the Penwood game in the shoebox was like, that's when I was in 6th grade. You talk about 7th grade. That's when I was in 6th grade. You count my years out. Coming to the game was like a big thing on a Friday night.
Yeah. And
on a Saturday and watching the guys and the ladies play. So proud to be a part of that. Proud to kind of reestablish that culture back here at Penwood. But it's just been a change, and we went through a lot of changes. Clearly our socioeconomics have changed out here, and you got to really think. And this is not to have a
strong block there for Penwood up front, and that was Sacco.
That's how you get your points there. You get ready for the setup, and then you get up there and block it. And Sanaya here gets up and gets some air under this. So let's see if she can serve a couple points up for us.
Jones with a strong serve. And the return towards the back line is out of play, so another point for Penwood.
I love how the team cheers during a volleyball game. I think it's the best thing ever.
Jones. Good serve. And the spike is bumped, and Penwood able to return. Good volley here. Hess, too strong.
There you go.
And Penwood with a little bit of a run here. 3 consecutive points. That spike was actually off Rachel Perrone. Jones, a floater.
Get it over.
Oh, and a missed chance there. That was a tough return up front for Giahue. And Chichester will take over serving. Marissa Taylor to send it over the net. Well, it's funny, Rob, you talk about, going to middle school games or going to games while you were in middle school and just the atmosphere here at the high school in the late 80s. I recently watched the movie with a couple friends. It's a classic. I watched it for the first time. Dazed and Confused with Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
I don't know if I've seen that. I had to see it. I'm a movie guy. Man.
Well, so the reason it comes to mind is because there's a scene in the movie where everybody's at the freshman high school baseball game. Because back in the late 80s, and this film is probably set in 76, I think, but there's no social media. So what do you do on a Friday night? You go to your high school's local athletic game.
Yes.
So me and my friends are watching this, and we've grown up our whole life with phones in our pockets.
Yes.
We're like, wow, people actually went to high school games back in the day, So that was such a funny concept for me to think, and the light bulb just went off in my head when you mentioned that a few minutes ago.
Well, one of the things right now, because obviously with COVID, we're not allowed to, not only have population, but the students come to games. So one of the things I try to explain in the adjustment of doing this is the students are always here. So on a day like today where we have a football game tomorrow, the football team would get done and they would come in here and pack the game and be rooting on their teammates, their classmates for games. And it's like, those are the things that help build communities and how people kind of come together, because it's like you're in the same proximity, you get to, root for each other. I used to always end up popping by the field hockey and lacrosse games, before or after practice, and because they used to play right outside here, and it's part of the camaraderie of just what high school sports is about. And for us, we struggle with the facilities issue, and that's why we started running the lights to have Friday night lights, because without that, you're not getting the same experience that most high schools get.
Right.
And we've had a ball doing that, and you guys being out streaming it as well.
It's been fun the last couple of years, and that it's that sense of community that you want to create at the high school level. That gets back to culture, which we were talking about earlier on the broadcast. Such a huge part of the high school athletic experience, as Ariana has on a little bit of a roll here, serving for Chichester, as they lead Penwood 16-4 in set number 3.
Well, it's interesting because, Lansdowne was a huge soccer town. I actually played club soccer in Lansdowne. Truthfully, soccer is probably what helped me become a point guard in basketball. I would have probably been a big man if it wasn't for soccer. So I played Lansdowne, played club soccer, and I didn't play in high school because basketball had gotten pretty serious for me. But in my senior year, both I and one of my teammates was the player of the year in the state. He's a soccer player and basketball, and I'm a basketball player, and we actually played on our club sports together. But it changed, right? So as we fast forward to the era where I become AD, there's a huge Jamaican and African culture that's here, and soccer kind of has gentrified and changed.
Right.
It's a different style and a different the way we play, but our community's just kind of adjusted to the socioeconomics that's been there, and it's been very exciting. And actually, we're going to get to see the soccer team next week playing, and I think they're going to make the playoffs in this and hopefully get to play for a championship.
Well, it was the soccer team, I believe was it the girls' soccer team your first year that won a Del Valle championship in 07?
No, so it was that was the boys' soccer team. So at that point in time, that's when really we were making the adjustment to we were having a pretty, we have a pretty cultured team. There's mostly Africans, and it was only a few Jamaicans then, but it was mostly Africans on the team, and so they were kind of building their way in, and it was kind of a lot of competition. But as a person who played soccer, I could identify with them and what they were going through, and how to make the adjustments here. And soccer's become a big sport here.
Strong spike for Deja Bazemore as Chichester takes a 21-5 lead in set number 3. Chris Markowitz alongside Raph Curry here for the Sports Fanbase Network. It's senior night for Penwood girls volleyball, and a point awarded to Penwood.
I just want to give a shout out to our seniors. It's a huge commitment nowadays. We talk about sports nowadays, and that's one of the things we're dealing with right now with the COVID. A lot of our students are working, and
right.
You're having kids that would come to school in the 7 o'clock range. School gets done at 2:15, practice until 5 something, and then you get home. It's like 7. Like your whole day was here at school, and in the virtual setting, it's not like that the same. You could serve there, and so for them to stick it out and be a part of this during this time frame has been a really good experience. And it means a lot. I think that a lot of times we think of athletics as extracurricular, but it becomes a primary part, and it's not just about going to school and going to college. It's about participating and being in a team environment and learning how these things affect you, and how to work in a team and pick up a different role and to get better. And so I just want to thank our seniors for the time that they've given to the program and their leadership and role. Our girls have been good role models most of the time for the program, and so I just want to say thank you to them and their families for their commitment to Penwood.
Big shout out to the seniors who were honored today. Sanaya Jones, Nicole Matta, and Ernestine Giahue, as Chichester with a serve there momentarily, but it doesn't go over for Morgan Wood. Penwood serves now. And Tong to serve. Patriots trail 22-8 in this set. And another point here for Chichester, inching closer to victory.
And we gave a shout out to Lavista, who was not here today. She's a senior and wasn't allowed to participate today. And just want to thank you for her commitment to the program and the year she put in as well. I think when you're a Penn Patriot, it stays in your heart, and you love the Wood for it. And as I can say that I've watched games from '82 all the way up until 2021, there's a lot of Penn Patriots who really represent the program and have put their part into the program. So we thank her and everybody else as well for the program. We have to also remember that our number one goal is to represent the school the best we can, and so that is always a part of our lessoning. Sometimes it works for us and works against us, but we try to give the school and the community our best light.
Match point here for Chichester as McLaughlin's serve is returned. This spike is out of play, so Penwood's still alive on their home court.
This one, all right.
Yeah, that missed wide right of the sideline. And so Penwood will have a serve here. It'll be Jones. And I think it's fitting that on senior day, Sanaya Jones will be the last to serve for Penwood this year, as Chichester comes away with the set and the victory over Penwood. They win 3-0. And that's going to do it for us tonight on senior night. We already gave some shout-outs, but Rap, just your final thoughts on the year for Penwood Volleyball.
Well, we're going to go over, man. You guys stay on for 2 minutes. We're going to go and let the team just kind of wave to the camera and give some light. And we're just really thankful for you guys to be here and help us out with it. Thanks for everybody that showed up. And let's go ahead and get the girls on camera real fast. So hold on. Give me a second to move over there.
We'll pause and wait for Rap to head down towards the Penwood bench and get them to give a little wave to you watching at home. We thank you all for joining us here this afternoon into the evening now. Congratulations to Chichester on the victory. And there's my man Rap talking to the Penwood squad. Couple waves there, and round of applause from the JV squad rooting them on. And that's going to do it for us here tonight at the Shoebox. For my partner Rap Curry and my producer Sean Kelly, I'm Chris Markowitz saying so long and good night.
All right, so we're here. We got our seniors here, and we're going to give them a little camera time here at the end. And I want you to just, we mentioned your schools and what you've been through, so why don't you say hello to everybody and say hello. All right, introduce yourself.
Hello.
Don't be shy.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
I'm Sanaya.
So tell us a little bit about school, where you're going next year.
You don't
know where you're going, so where'd you apply to?
But I applied to once. I plan to major in neuroscience in college. I'm going to Temple and I'm majoring in health professions.
So what was it like to play volleyball here? So 4 years. Tell me about your years playing volleyball.
Playing volleyball here at Penwood was like a really great experience. It's the first club that I joined in high school, and just being surrounded around great people and a great team really helped me grow as a person. Playing volleyball for like the last 4 years was really fun. I'm gonna miss playing volleyball with everybody here.
What about you, Miss Shy Girl?
Playing volleyball for the past 4 years gave me something to look forward to every year.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, so lastly, before we go, what are you guys looking for the rest of the school year? What are you excited about?
Lacrosse.
The prom?
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Graduation?
Yeah, that too.
Not really.
Graduating, leaving.
All right, we're going to say bye. I pulled them out to talk to you guys. Everybody say bye.
Goodbye.